dear football freaks, and very welcome to the 5th episode of Talking K-Town, the podcast where we talk about K-Town. My name is Matze, and talking to myself would be very boring, so I'm very happy that my dear friend Steven is again with me. Steven, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great. Good to see you again, man.
Very good.
Can't believe that we're at the halfway point already. Can you?
No, I can't. And time's passing by so extremely fast. We said we make it like a 2-week thing, but well, we have 4 freaking games to talk about. Time is passing by so fast. It's extreme this year, if you ask me. There were so much things going on, especially at our beloved club, but hardcore, and we're halfway done.
This English week always really messes your head up. You're like, okay,
completely.
We have a game Saturday, and then next week it's Tuesday, then Thursday, then Sunday. You have these 4 rapid fire games, and I mean, it's hard to keep on top of it, but it's really fun knowing that your team is going to play 3 times in a week. So you're like, oh, nice, I've got 3 matches to watch, but now we've got 11 weeks without football.
Oh man, till it's starting again at the 28th of January or something, right?
Yeah.
I think this is the longest winter break I've ever had, and that really sucks. I am addicted to football, or let's make it a little more detailed. I'm addicted to FC Kaiserslautern, so I'm on Turkey, as the junkies are calling it.
Oh yeah, and it's extra bad this year because of the World Cup that's taking place. So I remember having matches right up until the week before Christmas, pretty much, or 2 weeks before, and then they would go through January and then into usually February would be when the winter break would be ending, right? I think.
Yeah. Oh no, I had it in the middle of January. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it ends at the same time, but it starts earlier because
way
of the
earlier.
Yeah. Which we'll get into that discussion here today about the
I guess
World
so.
Cup.
But we need to talk about it, brother. But first things first. Cheers, man.
Cheers, Prost.
Prost. Man, that tastes good after
I've got a really cool beer. It's called the 12 Dogs of Christmas. It is instead of the 12 days of Christmas.
Yeah.
This is what's called a Christmas ale.
Okay.
It's brewed by a brewery called Happy Dog, and the creator of this beer used to work at Great Lakes Brewing, and there they made the famous Christmas ale. And he left the brewery and formed 12 Dogs, or Happy Dog. And it's the best time of year around here. Everybody always looks forward to Christmas ale season. It's a kind of like a, I guess it would be a holiday beer in Germany, like a Bock, but it has spices, cinnamon, nutmeg, a little bit of like Christmas flavoring with the beer.
I see, like it tastes like Christmas.
Yeah, and it's usually, this is I think 8% alcohol, 8.3%. So it makes you quite merry.
I see.
2 of them.
Have you ever drank like the real strong beer? Like a real extremely strong beer?
Yeah, many times.
And man, I once drank one which had, I think it was around about 20%.
Oh, wow.
And it tasted awful, brother.
Yeah.
Real awful. It just tasted like someone came over and poured a little like liquor booze thing stuff into your glass. It was just disgusting. And I've never poured out beer, so I drank it. But I wouldn't do it again.
You have to drink a beer no matter how bad it is. There's somebody somewhere in the world that would die to have a beer, and you're going to dump yours out. You can't do that. No way.
Absolutely.
I've had some, we call them big beers, but usually they're, I'm sure you've traveled to Belgium, right?
Yes, I did.
Belgium has really very strong beer, and I'm a big fan of the craft brewing scene here in America, where you have your big beer companies like Budweiser, Miller, the mass-produced beers, but then you also have craft beer, which are these really small breweries that make their own beer, and you have different styles. You have like a stout like Guinness. You have the IPA, which is really hoppy.
Mm-hmm.
You have Belgian style beers, and then of course every brewery makes your traditional German beer, Pilsner, Hefeweizen, Bock, Doppelbock. The German styles are brewed here as well, and the bigger beers are usually the Belgian, because they're very boozy.
Yeah.
They're 12, 13%. And then one of my favorites in the wintertime is they call them barrel-aged beer.
Mm-hmm.
So they will ferment beer in the oak barrels from bourbon. So you have like a bourbon flavor with your beer, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't drink beer to drink whiskey. I like to have whiskey and then I'll have a beer.
Exactly.
I don't make them when they're together. But some of them are done really well where I can drink one. It's like, oh, this is pretty a balanced beer.
Yeah.
But some of those are 15, 16%, depending on what kind of barrel they were put in and for how long. But yeah.
But you said it, and I agree totally. When I want to have whiskey, I want to have a whiskey and not a beer which tastes like whiskey. So,
exactly.
Not my thing as well. But yeah, brother, we have a lot to talk about. 4 games in total, as I said in the beginning. So, should we talk about the first one? So not the last one, but the first one of the 4.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
That would be Nuremberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, a game that I didn't get to watch again. I've only watched 3 games in total this year because they were the ones that were on ESPN.
Yeah.
It's very hit and miss. I'm almost to the point where I would like to have somebody give me their Sky Sports login so I could use my VPN to get over to Germany and watch the matches. But maybe for the second half, I'll find somebody that will allow me to borrow their credentials to log in. But yeah, Nuremberg, that was another boring game. Neither team wanted to really do anything.
Yeah.
The time of possession was very, very equal here. We had 19 shots on goal, though, which was a lot. Really, and it's just like only 8 of them were on target, according to Google here. But I only saw the highlight video. I didn't get to watch the entire match, but it looked like it was just 2 teams going through the motion and be like, oh, okay, we're gonna get a draw. Let's just get out of here,
Yeah, exactly. But it was the last draw for this half of the season.
Yeah.
I have no idea. How do you call the Hinrunde in English?
Like Unentschieden?
No. We have the half of the season, right? And we call this Hinrunde. So the their round and then the back round.
Okay,
so
we just call it the
first and the second half of the season.
First and second half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense because I was figuring out the word, but I didn't find it. I couldn't look it up, so.
And it's funny in the sport of baseball. There's 162 games that are played from April all the way through October. It's a long. It's a sporting event every day, which is really neat.
Yeah.
And usually they will say, okay, we're at the, they'll use the All-Star break, which is a whole week of festivities, and the best players from each team will play for each conference, and they have the All-Star game. Mm-hmm. That's considered the halfway point of the Major League Baseball season, even though they're not at 81 games.
Yeah.
It's usually at around 70 games.
Okay.
And then they play the All-Star game, and then they finish the season. But people call the All-Star break the halfway point, even though it's not at the 81st game. It's usually the 70th game.
It's confusing.
But, yeah, it is. but it's weird. The weirdest thing for me as an American getting into association football was, we're used to a season being in one part of the year,
Yeah.
But now, we turn the calendar from 2022 to 2023, and we're still in the same season. We're just at a different point.
I see.
So it's a little different, especially with the winter pause and everything. But
yeah. So it's not like football where you have like the winter break usually exactly at the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. But after this game, which I thought was extremely boring, as you said, unfortunately, it's very tough for me to say they should have won, but they had a little more chances, like the bigger chances, but a draw is very okay, if you ask me. But afterwards, we played against Rostock. Am I right?
Yes, I am. No, this was... No, this would be Arminia Bielefeld.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh God, I'm sorry. I was one week earlier.
Right. Yeah, Hansa was before Nuremberg, which I think we did cover that one.
Yeah,
we did in our last video. But no, the next week was Arminia Bielefeld, which
was the English week.
Yep.
Yeah.
An amazing game.
What a game! My nerves.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Hanslick in the 88th minute, after the penalty in the 74th minute for them, that tied it, and we're like, oh, it's going to be another draw again.
Yes.
Another point. And Hanslick is the hero of the day. 88th minute. I remember watching the video. Actually, I watched it last night to kind of get into, and just a beautiful. It just worked out like it was planned out. It was such a beautiful goal.
A beautiful goal.
Just another, and it's happened all this year. In fact, that's what I'm going to talk about later. This whole season, it's either we're getting tied in the end, or we come up in the end and win or draw. It's these last-minute heroics, which it's happened 3 times in the English week.
Exactly, but I thought about the season so far, and the thing you were just saying, like the goals in the last minute, remembered me on the first day, match day, this season against Hannover 96. We scored in the 92nd minute. Yeah, it was the stoppage time, and I was standing in the block, and I got completely nuts. Like, we're back in the second league, and we play like K-Town did 20 years ago. Like, the game is over when K-Town wins.
Yeah, and I'm just looking back at that game, and it was Kevin Kraus in the 92nd minute. We haven't heard his name called that many times this year, but he's done it recently with that header that we'll talk about in one of the games during the English Week 2. Just one of my favorite players because he's so quiet, and you don't know when he's on the field until he shows up, and there's Kevin, and you always see his little mustache,
Yeah.
The porn mustache, I call it, the porn star mustache.
We call it as well. No, we call it a porn bar.
Porn bar, yeah.
Porn bar. But my father said once that he's feeling like he's just popping up. Like, as you said, he's quiet. You never see him on the field, but all of a sudden, there he is.
Yeah.
What's going on? How did he come there? Nobody saw him running there, but all right, he's there. He's doing his job.
Especially when Terrence Boyd is on the field. You always expect, he's the guy that is really dangerous when it comes to a header.
Yeah.
To head the ball in, because he's such a big guy and he's tall. He has more of that height advantage. Where Kevin Kraus, I think, is a little bit taller too. I think they're both relatively close, but
guess so,
whenever you see a goal that we score with the head, you immediately think Boyd, because I think most of his goals have been with his head this year.
Yeah.
To see Kevin Kraus do that was like, oh, he must have borrowed that trick from Terrence Boyd.
Get some extra lessons
Oh yes,
in
training.
Harris.
Yeah.
But I just reminded myself, one of the things which I was always like, not angry, but a huge complaint of mine were the standards, like corners or free kicks. In the last season, which I always said, like, they had to be trained till they die, like till they are afraid when they see a corner. And we're an extremely good standard situation team right now. The corners are very, very good. Usually they're at least a little dangerous. And the free kicks, man, they were the one free kick which came exactly on the forehead of Boyd. So awesome. And I'm very happy that our team is playing so extremely good, and it feels like a team.
Oh yeah.
It's not like you have sometimes the feeling that they're people on the field which are trying to make a one-man show out of it. But now we have a team. They fight for each other, and that is so great, man. So great. And this is the point where we come to the game against Bielefeld again, because that was a team effort.
That was a team effort. Yeah. I think, I can't remember. I remember seeing the quote by Fritz Walter about how important pulling for each other is, camaraderie shaft, or Kameradschaft. How important you can have a team of superstars like Bayern Munich.
Yeah,
and
you can.
They may be good by themselves, but it's much more important to have a team of guys that will fight for each other, and they don't want the spotlight to be on them. They want the spotlight to be on the jersey here, the club logo, instead of on the back. That is so much more
perfectly said.
You know,
this is. I need to remember this because that's a perfect quote, man. Yeah. This is a very perfect quote. It's not about.
We have a saying in America: you root for the front of the tricoat and not the back. You root for your city. That's usually on your chest, but not on the player's name on the back.
I've never heard that before, but that is beautiful because that's exactly my thoughts.
Yeah.
And no one, not a player, not one individual fan, no guy who's sitting in any position of the team is bigger than the club itself.
Yeah.
No one is bigger than the Kaiserslautern or any other football team.
Yeah. And it's why being a fan of the club, you know, we here in Cleveland are very passionate sports fans. So maybe I don't like hockey or basketball as much. Maybe I don't follow it as close as I would football or baseball. But if it's a Cleveland team, I will buy the hat and I will wear the jersey, because we're all a big family and we root for our team because they represent our city. Just like in K-Town, when we are in the stadium, not only are we supporting our boys, but those boys are supporting our city, and it's us versus them. And it's why it makes that atmosphere even more intense.
Exactly.
Because your pride as a native of Kaiserslautern is on the line today, especially, you know, in the derby matches where it's us versus you, and we're better, and it's just it makes it more personal to me.
Absolutely, you know? Absolutely. And you say it's like a huge family. Yeah. And this is another thing which I'm so happy about, that the players on the field and the fans are feeling like one unit. We're again not where we had like troubles with one or another player, but we are one unit and we fight for our club, and that is so beautiful to see, and I'm very happy about it.
Oh yeah. And it's something that you can't coach that. You can't, you know, you can't train a person to be that way in the cabin. You know, Terrence Boyd, when I see him talk, he knows he's a star, but he doesn't portray himself that way. I see one cohesive unit when I see us doing so well, and I know what it's like in the cabina. I'm sure they're very close. That is more important than individual statistics. You know, say, yeah, Kevin Krause, maybe he only scores 3 goals this year, but those goals might come in crucial moments where, you know, Terrence Boyd might have 30 goals, but maybe half of those are after the game is pretty much done, and they're what we call garbage time. You know, it's 2 minutes left, we're up 3-1, they're not going to come back, and Terrence Boyd gets another one. But, you know, like I said, it's really nice that I think for the most part, our team from the last season when we were in the third league is pretty much the same, with the exception of maybe 5 players. You know, Rob is gone, but we've got some new guys that are coming in. You know, we've got Opoku now, who is really has my attention because he finally scored the other day. So I'm looking forward to seeing where we end up this year, because we're not done with players. We might get another player between now and the end of the season.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you just said that Krause maybe scored 3 times. But here is the thing which makes a team player, and one more point where it feels like a team. Krause is perhaps in let's say the penalty area, and he has the chance to score, but he sees that Boyd or any other player is in a slightly better position, and he passes the ball over instead to put himself into the spotlight and try it by himself. This is so. I have no idea how it's called. It's when something is very, very heavy on money. It's wertvoll. Precious? No, that would be a treasure-like thing.
Priceless, maybe.
Priceless. Thank you so much. That is priceless.
You can't put a dollar sign on it or a euro sign. Yeah.
And this is so great, so extremely great. And you also mentioned Opoku. Many people were very skeptic about it because, there were some things happening in his past, but he is now in our team, and I'm very happy that everyone is cheering for him as well, and welcome him as a part of our family now. And he is doing an extremely good job. I said it earlier, I say it again. He is so extremely fast with the ball on his feet. He is way faster than most of the players without the ball. And he is so good. I'm very happy that he came to us.
And we haven't even seen him with his full potential yet, because he's only been here a very short time. I'm sure he's practiced with the club off the field, but he had to serve 3 more games of suspension for his red card, right?
Exactly.
When he came here. So with the winter pause, and I expect to see even better things from him when we resume play in January. Depending on if he gets more. It doesn't seem like he's starting. He usually comes in later, but maybe he'll start occasionally, and we'll get more of a chance to see how the team evolves with him in the lineup, because it's all about chemistry. You know, some players work better together. They know, hey, I know how to pass to get the ball to Boyd in his favorite spot, so I can make use of him in that situation. You know.
Have you, because you mentioned Boyd again, have you seen his, I think it was an Instagram video where he is recording himself standing in front of the West Curve, where everyone was like, Terrence Boyd, and his smile on his face. It's so cute. I would just like to pinch his cheek, and you're so cute.
I know,
that made me so happy when I see him and saw this, because that made me feel he's he's at home in Kaiserslautern.
Oh yeah, and he is really. I can't think of a better player to have in our city because of how many Americans live in K-Town. Because Terrence Boyd is an American.
He is.
But to have, you know, a city where there's so many American people that are in the military that, you know, the people at K-Town in FC Kaiserslautern, they want to promote this game to the Americans. Hey, we need more American people to come to the stadium.
Yep.
Well, now we have Terrence Boyd. He speaks English and German. He's American, so there's an automatic attraction for American fans. Hey, he's our guy. We can really get behind him with, you know, the American flag in the stands and stuff like that. And he's just been such the best player that I've seen wear the tricoat in the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, he fit like, you know, he just fit right in. He didn't have any time to grow. He just immediately came here and made an impact from the first day.
Exactly, and this is the thing where I could shake my head till I get dizzy, because like 2 years-ish, round about that, ago, we already tried to get Boyd to Kaiserslautern, but back then our sports director said, no, he's not fitting in our system. What the hell is going freaking on?
Our system was pretty fucked up back then.
I would agree 100%. It was just fucked up. And I'm very, very, very interested in what is going on in the winter break with perhaps new transfers to Kaiserslautern.
Yeah.
Let's see. Because
looking at that what is it, transfermarkt.de. I keep that on my phone, and I have alerts set up that will, you know, send me a text message when our team is mentioned. Of course, you know, I rely on you guys primarily to get that information to me, because sometimes I might be behind a little bit. And you guys are really, you're there, you know, you're in the know of what's coming and going.
Yeah.
So
we try to.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Betze brennt always keeps us up to date.
Yeah, and I love that site.
It's perfect.
I follow them on Instagram. They're always really good. I don't know who he is, but on YouTube, his YouTube channel is Dr. Betz.
Yeah, Dr. Betze.
Yeah. He does a lot of videos of just the fans.
Yep.
And sometimes the action on the field, but most of the time it's like fan reactions. I always look forward to seeing his coverage of the match, especially my favorite series of his was when we won in Saarbrücken last year.
Yeah. And
he was filming across the guest block, and you could see all of the Saarbrücken fans like, hey, you know, come here and fight us, and flipping us off, and we were, you know, waving at them, and I loved his videos for that.
Yeah, highly recommended. Highly recommended.
Yeah.
So, but you said it, a derby against Saarbrücken, but we had another one in the English week against Karlsruhe.
Yeah. The one and only this year.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Only one derby this year. I mean, for the season. We only have one team.
Yeah.
Hopefully that changes next year.
Well,
hopefully.
It is like a very tight situation at the top of the table in the third league, but Saarbrücken is up there. And okay, Waldhof Mannheim said they want to get promoted as the winner on rank 1 of the table at the end of the season, but that doesn't look like it.
No.
No.
What's his Elversberg?
Elversberg, yeah.
They are playing like a possessed team to get promoted from the Regionalliga, and they're up to the first, up to the top of the table.
Yeah, they came up from the 4th. Now, usually we say, okay, they get promoted. They are very energetic, exactly, and hyped for the season. So let's see how they're going to play. And then they win like a few times, and then usually it's like they win, then they draw, and then they start losing. But man, what's going on with Elversberg? They win every freaking time.
Yeah.
And not just like by one goal or something. No, they beat everyone like 4 goals ahead or something.
Yeah,
it feels like.
they're I have to look up the goal differential. But it's pretty. They have a 28 goal differential right now. That's just insane. And they've won 13 games. They've only had a draw twice, and they've only lost 2. That's really because 1860 was at the top of the table for a while.
Yeah.
And they've kind of fallen down. They drew, loss, win. So they've really the plane has crashed into the mountain for 1860, unfortunately. Yeah.
Because I really thought that they will stay at the top of the table. But we have a lot of games ahead of us, so let's see. But our game against Karlsruhe, what are your thoughts about it?
Oh, just... it's a derby match, man.
Yeah.
It's like that in all sports. When you have 2 teams that hate each other, it doesn't matter where they're at in the table, whether they're way up high and you're at the bottom, or it's reversed and you're up high and they're at the bottom. Nothing else matters because it's 2 guys that hate each other in the boxing ring, and they're going to use glass bottles and they're going to use everything to win.
Yep.
And once again, undefeated in a derby match for the last 3 years now.
Yeah.
And it continues.
We know how to derby.
Yeah. Just the energy, the pyro was so fantastic for both sides. Karlsruhe had a really good choreography there with the glitter and everything behind theirs. And then the camera moves over to K-Town, and it's hell.
It is
Red
hell.
Fire,
Hell broke loose.
It was just, I'm like, I sent that video to so many people. I'm like, you think German soccer is boring? Watch this shit.
It was, man. I'm going into the stadium for, well, almost my entire life, and I always wanted to stay in the stadium in my West Curve when it comes to a pyro show, like when we played back in 1981 against Barcelona. And the whole curve were completely covered in flames. And I had this situation like 3 or 4 times, but this time it really felt like this is hell, man. This is simply hell. But flares everywhere. It was freaking hot. You can't see anything because of all the smoke.
You've got your scarf around your
No, you need to have the full experience so you can taste the smoke, man. No, that was really, really, really crazy. And the game was also awesome, but there was one disappointment or thing which made me really, really angry. Because, as you know, I'm standing at 8.1, which is in the middle, at the lower part of the curve. Bro, my brother's girlfriend, my brother's girlfriend left at the 13th minute, and my brother had to leave in halftime because the block was so full. And I you know me, I like a packed block, but that wasn't fun anymore. We were standing, I'm standing like, let's say, 10 steps away, footsteps, not stair steps, away from the exit. And we were standing for like 5 minutes to get him out, and we have to squeeze ourselves through people because there are guys who were showing their card, which said 8.2, and they wouldn't accept that they were not allowed to go in 8.1. There were so many people which you've never seen in the last freaking 5 years, but now when K-Town is playing very good, and we're having a derby. Everyone is going to be there, and especially they need to be at the exact center point. That sucked so much. Especially, they weren't cheering. They were just standing there. Yeah, then piss off, man. You're taking spots of people which are... One guy said
that have been there for the last 5 years when we were shitty. You know?
One guy said to me, you know, I was standing in the block against, let's say, Groß Asbach. In the middle of winter, my balls were freezing off.
Yeah.
But I was there for my club. Where were you?
Yeah.
Where is your excuse? And that really made me angry, because me and my brother, we are always together when it comes to football, and especially home games. But missing him at such an important game with this extremely good result made me really, really sad. That was the downside of this victory for me.
You probably left with a really bad taste in your mouth, like, oh, it was fun, but something was missing. It didn't,
exactly.
It wasn't, you know,
That was the downside.
I felt the same way for a different reason during the pandemic when we had that match against Waldhof Mannheim, and they allowed, I think, 3,500 or 5,000 fans.
Roundabout it,
And you weren't allowed to be in the West Curve. We were in the Südtribune.
Yeah.
And
the South,
it was a derby, but there were no guest fans, and we weren't in the curve, so it felt like a funeral. It was like it didn't. Yeah, it was nice to be in the stadium again to watch your team, but it was missing the most important part. It was
the spirit was missing.
The spirit in the curve, and I love it when Mannheim shows up in the guest spot with their energy, because it creates that environment.
That's the salt in the soup, as we like to call it, because it's really making more fun when you have an enemy which is screaming as loud as they can, and we're screaming as loud as we can. And that was the thing against Karlsruhe. They had, as you said, a very good choreography. It really looked beautiful, especially with the... I like these glittery,
like the strobe lights.
Yeah, and you have the flags, the plastic flags, which were like
transparent.
Like this shiny.
Yeah.
I really like this because it looks beautiful, and it was a very good startup for a very intense game where Karlsruhe had the better chances to win. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
20 shots to 8. They had the ball 70% of the time. So out of 90 minutes, they probably had the ball for 65 minutes.
Roundabout it,
Yeah.
That is, but who freaking cares? Yeah. The 25 minutes, where we had the ball, were enough. Yep. We had 8 goal shots, I think.
Yeah, 8. Yep.
And they were enough.
And 5 of them were on target.
Yeah. And these 5 were 5 enough. And it was so great.
And another stat that sticks out to me is they had 8 corner kicks. Where we only had 2.
Yeah.
And I mean,
they could be happy that they were just that the result was 2-0, because there were the one situation where they scratched the ball off the goal line away. So, man, I was angry because when we scored, I was screaming like hell, of course, but I was always like biting my nails and how long is this game going to be? And because. It felt like they
the longer it went on, the higher chance it was that they were going to score or maybe even tie the game.
But also, to be honest, the first half was way better of Karlsruhe than the second one. They hadn't enough ideas to get in our penalty area. They just kicked it high in, and there you go. But our defense was very good, so. That was the good thing there. But when we scored in like the last, do you have it on your screen? I guess.
Yeah.
When we scored again.
Kenny Prince Redondo, 86th minute.
86.
Yep. The kind of like
I got
the
completely
icing
nuts,
on the
man.
cake, pretty much was that goal right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was over at that point, but he kind of sealed the deal.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, not today, Karlsruhe. Goodbye.
Yeah, and you definitely have to look up again the highlights and keep an eye on Redondo, where the hell he's coming. I'm saying hell like freaking lot of times right now. Where he's coming from. I have no idea if he's had a conversation with Lute about something, but he was coming right from our side of the field and ran into the penalty area straight where he needs to be. And there you go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was, oh my God, it was beautiful.
And we've talked a lot about him this year.
Yes,
and how it seems like the derby matches is when he really shines. Like if it's a derby, Kenny Prince Redondo is probably going to score a goal.
Yeah. Same thing against Saarbrücken.
Yeah. Those are moments where it's like it's fit for him, He finds a way to make a difference, which is a reason why I like him, because he's really quick too. And he's got very good football IQ between his ears. He's really really smart. He's always in the right place at the right time. Yep. Just like you just said, where you maybe had a conversation with Luther. He just knows where to be.
Yeah.
To be effective.
And this is how a football player needs to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, only one home derby this year, but we took care of it in our house, and now we will go and play them in I think May.
Yes.
Let's see here, May 21st or 23rd.
Round about that time. It's not the correct date right now.
Yeah.
But we once played against Karlsruhe and we won 1-2-3 against them, and then they got relegated because of that loss.
Oh.
But I said it in the video. I was sad. I was really sad because having no enemy like Karlsruhe or Saarbrücken or Mannheim or Frankfurt or Mainz or who the hell cares about Mainz? But you need at least one of them in the league, because this is what makes football so extremely awesome.
One of my friends. He lives in Switzerland right now, but he's from Frankfurt. Mm-hmm. He is a fan of the Cleveland Browns, which is the NFL team in my city here. Mm-hmm. And one of his good friends is a Waldhof Mannheim fan. Oh. And one time we got on to we were on WhatsApp, because his friend likes the Browns too. But his friend knows that I'm a K-Town fan, so we talk shit back and forth. Yeah. And I keep rubbing it in, hey, we're in the second league. Where are you at? And he said, no, we're going to get there. But I told him, look, man, I love talking shit with you, but do us a favor and get up to the second league so we can have this. We can have these games back, because it's special. It is special. Yeah, we hate you. You hate us, but when we're in the stadium together, it's like you said, the salt in the soup. Yeah. Games are fun, but when it's them, if it's Mainz or Frankfurt or these other teams that we hate, it's a little bit extra special. It is. Not seeing them anymore, it's like, oh, I miss our Waldhof fans. I miss the Baracklers a little bit.
Me too. And at the beginning of the season, I said that my wish would be that 1860 is at the top of the table of the third league. Second rank, Waldhof Mannheim, and third rank should be Saarbrücken.
And they have exactly playoff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we should have us, Karlsruhe, Saarbrücken, and Waldhof Mannheim in one league.
And then, if we're really lucky, Mainz would get relegated, and we would have them too.
Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah.
So I don't
think that's going to happen for a while.
No.
Mainz maybe. Mainz might happen.
Yeah.
They're mediocre.
Yeah.
That's their only claimed that when we beat them in the Pokal, oh, well, we're in the Bundesliga. I'm like, how many trophies do you have? How many Pokal seekers do you have? None. Your only bragging is that you're in the Bundesliga. That's it. That's all you have. And there's no trophy for that, man.
Exactly. And we said, like, do we have a saying here? Which means, Mainz was 4 times very close to the German championship. Round about 80 kilometers away. Because Kaiserslautern and Mainz are 80 kilometers from each other, and they were close to the German championship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they have none.
So
they
close.
have nothing.
So close.
So close, but not close enough. And
hey, they have Carnival. So.
Yeah, there you go. Have fun.
Yeah, blow your horn, throw yourself up in the air.
Play your trumpet. And feel free. But you said it like we're in first league, and we are your capital city of your state. You know, and your Bundesland. But we were in third league and we won.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Wah, 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 wah. Play that on your trumpet.
Prost.
Prost. Well, now we come to the last game of the half. Fortuna Düsseldorf, who beat us that same year in the Pokal. Because we beat Mainz, we beat Nuremberg in penalties with the stop when he stopped that last goal. Great performance. After he let the ball out and the guy came around and kicked it.
He just
like,
put it on the floor.
hell?
And one guy behind him, and I was like, no, what the hell are you doing? That really screwed me over.
We lost, what was the score? Was it 5-3 against Fortuna in the Pokal?
I guess so, yeah.
I think we were either ahead or we were tied at halftime.
Yeah.
They went ahead and scored 2 extra goals.
Yeah. But
our luck ran out, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. But the game against Düsseldorf was awesome. It was intense because they also started with a small choreography, with a little pyro. And the fun thing is that the 11th of November is a very special day in Germany because there is the carnival starting.
Yeah.
So this is also...
So all the people in Mainz were having fun.
Mainz, Cologne and Düsseldorf are one of the 3 biggest cities... Yeah, I think so. The biggest cities where they celebrate carnival like crazy.
So that would be considered a Carnivalstadt. Then,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. And then, go ahead, celebrate your carnival. We're celebrating our club.
Yep, exactly.
That was, oh my God. When they scored, of course, I was angry. But not as angry as I usually are, because I thought like, okay, who cares? We played a good season so far, and I know that our team has the spirit to come back and make it at least a draw.
Yeah.
But
and that's
then
what I was looking
everything
for.
got crazy.
Yeah. I was watching the live stream at work with because I texted you many times during the program, and I told you that, you know, when we got that I just woke up a sleeping coworker, and you're like, why is he sleeping and you are not sleeping? And then Bella's like, oh, because K-Town is playing. Like, oh, that's right, K-Town is playing.
Exactly. That was freaking funny.
But once again, late heroics.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, we come and penalties are gifts. You know, it's not like you earn that goal because it's luck. You know, the guy was running and the defender tapped his shoe and the guy fell over. Those are what you can call gifts, and it's happened against us and it's happened for us.
Yeah.
Today, or that day, it was our turn to get a gift from the football gods. Here's a penalty. The 96th minute. and we made it count, and we stole 2 points out of Dusseldorf.
3 points.
Well, we had
okay,
one,
the draw,
we stole 2 more.
Yeah,
so
2 more.
We walked out with 3, but we stole the other 2.
Have you seen the Düsseldorf player where he fell over and landed on his stretched arm like this, where he fell like
and it went that's
that hurts just by watching.
I could see blood and gore all day in a horror movie, but to see a body part that goes the other way that it should, whether it's a foot or a knee or an arm, I immediately have to do a Terrence Boyd and just be like, oh.
The commentator said, "Here is a replay. If you want to watch it, I'm looking away. I already saw it."
Yeah, 1 time is enough for me.
Yeah, no, that really hurt me as well. But luckily, it's just dislocated. Like a harsh dislocation, but not broken, as far as my knowledge goes so far. Yeah. But
and the sad thing is, with a dislocation, is the injury only hurts for a moment because your limb is kind of flopping around.
Yeah.
But when they have to put it back in, they say is even more painful than when it comes out. Like my dad dislocated his shoulder, and he's 75 years old.
Oh.
And when they had to set it twice. It came out when he was visiting me in Germany. Mm-hmm. His arm popped out again.
Oh no!
And I had to take him to the clinicum in K-Town in emergency. Luckily, it was very inexpensive, and I told the doctor, "Look, he dislocated his shoulder 3 weeks before they were coming to visit me in K-Town. He was up on a ladder, putting one of those lights where if you walk by it, it turns on the motion light.
Motion light,
and he fell down, and instead of letting himself hit, he grabbed the ladder, which popped his shoulder out. Well, he had to have it popped back in while he was visiting me. Mm-hmm. And he said it was the worst pain he's ever felt, and the poor man did not sleep more than 3 hours a night when he was visiting me. I wanted to take them to Bavaria. I wanted to see the Neuschwanstein, the Berg Neuschwanstein, take him to Munich. But with his injury, we ended up just staying local. But we went to Speyer, we went to Trier. I showed him all of my favorite spots in the Rhineland-Pfalz. Yeah, we went to Saarland a little bit.
So you've been in France, yeah?
Yes, yeah. But I know exactly how painful a dislocation can be when they have to put it back in the right position.
Yeah, I had a sports injury, and I feel the pain still, because that was just my right shoulder also dislocated. Not fun. So take care, brother. And you out there as well.
Oh yeah.
So we covered the 4 games. That was the first half of the season, and in review, I would say I'm still flashed and impressed, and there are no more words I can find to express how happy I am.
Oh yeah.
Because take the situation like 2 years ago, where we were almost getting relegated in 3rd league, but now we're on 4th place in the second league.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that? Yeah. Not me.
If you would have told me back, say, let's say July, after the new season started, and if you were to tell me that, hey, when the winter pause begins, K-Town is not going to be anywhere close to the relegation zone. They're going to be in 4th place, 5 points behind the playoff promotion spot, and I think only 7 or 8, I had to pull up the table here, behind the first place. We have 29, so 6 points separate us from Darmstadt right now. I would have asked you 2 questions. One, What are you smoking? Number two, can I have some?
My thoughts exactly. This is you're taking medicine.
Yeah.
Either too much or too less, but not the correct doses.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable for me.
Yeah.
And it's so great because after all these years of pain and suffering, to be happy to be a K-Town fan and not having like jittering of all the things which were coming up, and hopefully the season will be over fast and we get the points, and we have just 11 points to go for the 40 points
safety,
for the 40 points mark.
The Klassenerhalt, yeah.
But a guy came up on, I think it was der Betze brennt. No, on Wir sind Betze on Facebook, and he showed a statistic where he said we're not 11 points away, but just 9 points away, because in history there were just 2 or 3 teams which were getting relegated with 39 or 40 points.
Yeah.
So. And don't get me wrong, I don't want to be cocky or something, but we win 3 games more, and I think way more than just 3.
Oh, yeah.
But still.
And it's, when I look back, 2022, because we're close to Thanksgiving here in America, then Christmas, but when I look back at 2022, what a year it's been.
Yeah.
Promotion against Dynamo Dresden, which I got to see. I got to fly back to my second home and be there with you for the home match. And then you went to Dresden personally, and I was at the stadium for the watch party. But it's got to be one of the best years to be a K-Town fan in a long time.
Yeah.
To see a promotion, and now not only are we playing really well, we could be promoted to the first league at the end of the year. You don't know that.
Yes, of course.
It's there. I don't want to, as we say in America, put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying, "Oh, we need to stay in the second league for 2 or 3 years." I can understand that, but if it's there and you have the opportunity to play for it, go for it. And if you get promoted and you get relegated again back to the second, hey. I don't know if any other team has gone from third to second to first. I don't know if it's ever happened before.
Darmstadt.
Darmstadt did.
Darmstadt, okay. In fact. And you know who was their coach?
I don't, actually.
Schuster.
Wow.
Our now the coach of us. Yeah.
Let's do it. If the moment is too big for us, then at least we could say, hey, we went through the first year in the second league with safety, and we had a lot of room behind us.
Yeah, but I'm a little scared if we should really get promoted, which is a tough call.
Yeah,
but my fear is that we get slaughtered in the first league, like Arminia Bielefeld. They just got promoted, then they got relegated again, and look at the spot right now.
And they're now in relegation zone again. Yep.
On 16th place.
Yep. Yeah, I'm looking at them right now. They have 17 points right now.
Yeah.
But they've won their last 2 games. So
yeah.
Them and Magdeburg are back there. So is St. Pauli. They're tied for 15th and 16th. They have 3 goals that separate them.
Yep.
But I couldn't imagine seeing St. Pauli play in the third league. That would be really crazy.
Yeah, that would be really crazy, because it's been a long time where they stayed in second league, and the Störbi it's called, which means it's a connection between Stadt and Derby, which means Störbi.
Störbi, yeah.
And that is always fun. They won 3-0 against Hamburg.
Hamburg, yeah.
And that really makes Der Sivi, which is a YouTuber for Hamburg, for HSV. And
I've watched some of his videos where he filmed it, and I was like, wow, because that was when I was living in Germany. That was one of the matches that I wanted to see. I wanted to see Hamburg SV versus St. Pauli. And I always wanted to see Dortmund gegen Schalke.
Oh, yeah.
But Schalke, got relegated, and that became no longer possible until, last year where they promoted up again. Yeah. And now they're back, and they will have their derby again.
Yeah, but, they're ranked right now, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be relegated.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe.
Lucky.
Let's see, because I think, Schalke is a team which I think deserve to be in first league. They have an extremely good fan community. They're really, really hardcore when it comes to away games, and especially when they play in Europe, they're everywhere. So that would be very sad because, as you said, the Ruhrpott Derby is very special.
Yeah.
So, but you had the time today to make a schedule of your a ranking of your 5 favorite games of the first half of the season. I made myself also a little thoughts about it, and it made for me, it was way tougher than for you, I think. But so let's talk about it. What are your rank number 5?
And before I get to that, I wanted to actually mention one thing, is we are undefeated on the road this year. I don't know if that... Yeah. When was the last time that ever happened? That a newly promoted club is... we have not been defeated away. We were talking last video about really interesting stats. We're the only team in the second league that is undefeated on the road. And I don't think there's a team in the first league that is undefeated. I think there's a few teams. I think Elversberg in the third league is undefeated on the road.
Perhaps,
That's an amazing stat when you think about it's usually harder to win on the road.
Yeah.
Where we've had better success in the enemy stadiums than we have at home at Fritz Walter Stadium.
Well, let's be honest, okay? We had, let's say, the game against Hamburger SV. There were 10,000 K-Town fans, 9,000 at the away game in Düsseldorf. Mm-hmm. We had a home match in Sandhausen. So we are everywhere, and we like to travel a lot, the K-Town fans. And so the support is really hardcore. So we make every away game a home game. So that is one main part, if you ask me. But I can't remember ever hearing that statistic that a team was promoted and never lost in an away game.
It's
interesting.
It's hard to do. I mean,
it is.
It's always hard to win when you're traveling. Yeah. And you know that most of that stadium is going to be against you.
Yep.
But, to see, and that's one thing that really shocks me is when I was in K-Town, I went to a few away games. But the last time that we were playing in Dusseldorf was against KFC Uerdingen. Mm-hmm. It was an away match, and I think Uerdingen was rebuilding their stadium, so they were using Dusseldorf Stadium.
Yep.
And we were there. I think it's the Merkurspiel Arena.
Yep.
I think is where they play. And I think when we went there, we won 3-1 that day, or 3-0. There was maybe 500, maybe 1,000 guest fans. I remember because me and my friend JJ went there. And as soon as we got off the bus, we took the Shari bus, and I had my first alt beer. And I got the glass. I'm like, oh, it's dark beer, and I drank it, and I was completely hammered by halftime. I was just I'm like, oh my god, this alt beer is so freaking awesome.
You said it earlier. Someone needs to drink that beer.
Yeah, exactly. but I never got to experience 10,000 away fans. If you think about it, how many people are in the West Curve? Maybe 11,000 in that
Oh
section?
no, it's more. It's like 16, 18,000, I think, round about that. Yeah.
But back when we were in the third league, our attendance usually was maybe 16,000.
Yep.
And a lot of that was West Curve, and then the Nord and Sud Tribune, you would have a couple thousand people there.
Yep.
But I've never got to experience 10,000 away fans. I think the closest that I could ever experience to having a home game on the road would be Grossalsbach, because we would have 3,500 fans there, and the poor little village club would be, hey, can we be here for a minute? Yeah, I think so.
It was 6,000.
6,000. Okay. Well, I was short. Okay.
More than half of the stadium, because there are 10,001 places for viewers, and we were there with 6,000, I think.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, that was
awesome.
That, especially against Hamburg, and seeing that whole upper section in flames when they started the pyro.
Awesome.
It gives you goosebumps. It really does.
Yeah.
But I've got my top 5.
Yeah.
This is the David Letterman, but top 5.
Okay.
Not top 10. Top 5.
Top 5.
Number 5. The first game in the league against St. Pauli. The reason why that was big for me was
the first game in the league.
In the second division.
We had the first one against Hannover 69.
Oh, that's right. Oh, crap. Yeah, no, that's ruined it. All right.
Nah.
Yeah. But
no worries, brother. Everything's fine.
Oh yeah, I missed it. Yeah.
No worries. Everything's cool.
Because we had the well, that'll be my number 5 then. Because I saw the Pokal and I forgot. Yeah, we had a couple and I had the browser open, but
no worries, brother. Everything's fine. We're here to help ourselves, each other.
Forgive the dumb American, please.
Nah, the dumb American. No.
No, but it was important not only because it was our first game in the second league, but it was against a team that is considered to be promotion worthy.
Yep.
They're right up there. In fact, I think they're right below us by a point. They're right at our heels, biting at our heels. Very important to start your new time in the new division with a win.
Yes.
And in front of your home team, and we got the early giveaway goal where the guy kicked it back to the keeper, but he didn't put enough juice on it, and I think that was Mike Wunderlich intercepted the ball, crossed it over. I think that was within the first 5 minutes. I think we scored.
Yeah, I think it was the 4th minute or something. Yeah. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think so.
It was very early.
Yeah. But yeah, that was just to get that first win in the new division.
Yeah.
Really, I think set the tone for the season.
Yeah, especially I mentioned earlier that we got the draw and then we scored again in the 92nd minute.
Yeah. In
the stoppage time. So that was
another.
Great.
I'll have a story to tell you by the end of the show about a similar team in Cleveland that had a very peculiar ability to win games at the very end.
Okay.
And we had a nickname, and it's the nickname that I'm going to give our team for this season. But I will tell you that at the end of the video.
Okay.
Game number 4. And even though it was a draw, but I have the 4th best game was tying Darmstadt 3-3 because they are high up in the table, and to be a third league club that recently promoted, to take them the full 90 minutes and to leave with a point was, in my mind, a victory. Even though it was only 1 point on the table, to me, it was a victory.
Exactly.
Because that shows that we can play not only against the bottom, but we can play it up against the top. And we played the tough teams really well this year.
Yes, we did. And no kidding, I made myself a ranking, and place number 1 is Hannover 96, and 5, and then is Darmstadt. No kidding.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. My third best game would be the game that we just talked about, the Arminia Bielefeld and us 3-2. Yeah, they're not good this year, but they played in the Bundesliga last year. So they got sent down. So in my opinion, you're playing a team that a year ago was in the class above you. And that, to me, to beat them on the road was just that's a huge win.
Yes.
Because even if they're not playing their best right now, every team is going to have a letdown game. But to play a team that a year ago was playing against Bayern Munich and we just beat them in their own house, that's big to me.
Yeah.
That's a big game.
And it was, we talked about it earlier. Like, I always say this right now, but we talked about it, and we both agreed that it was a team effort, and it was a really, really good game, which showed what the SC Kaiserslautern is capable of.
Exactly. The second most important game this year, to me, was K-Town and Dusseldorf, the game that just took place last week. Really important to finish the half part of the season strong, and to get another late heroic win, I think gives us momentum into the next round. Even though there's going to be 11 weeks without football, and the guys are going to have to practice and maybe play. I don't know do they play friendlies or test spiels or?
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But aren't, I have no idea. Is Boyd in the American national team? But no, he's injured, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's injured, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I was going to ask you. I know he's supposed... I was on Kicker today, and I guess he's supposed to miss 11 to 12 weeks, maybe.
Yep.
But it will be most of that stoppage time with the World Cup and everything.
Luckily.
That maybe he might miss 1 or 2 games on the other side to rehab, but luckily
he'll be back on track when we need him.
Yeah.
So
and number 1 game of the year.
Let me guess. Karlsruhe.
You got it.
Ah, yes.
You got it.
Bro, we have the exact same games on our ranking. Yeah. The exact same games.
And we didn't talk about it.
No, we didn't.
I just said, hey, Matza, come up with your top 5 games of the year, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. And I just checked it, and we have the only thing is that my games would be Düsseldorf and Bielefeld would be swapped.
Switched, okay. Yeah.
But we have the same games on the
pretty much,
minds. Yeah. That is,
I mean, not only a derby win, but a win against a team that has been in the second league now for
a couple of years,
a few years now.
Yeah,
that have that stability.
Yeah,
and it's the only, and it was in our stadium, so you better play till your legs fall off.
Yeah,
mega important game, and we shut them out. Every part of that game was fantastic. Agreed.
But let me add one more thing. We made out of we have a saying: you make gold out of shit. And the game, you said the statistics, it was shit. Really, they had 70% of the time they had the ball.
Yeah.
Our passing were more wrong passes than passes which came over to the teammate.
Yeah.
But 5 shots
but we played
on
smart.
target,
and our defense was we. I looked at it this way when I watched the highlights. We had a plan.
Yeah,
and it was more surgery where we were cutting with a scalpel, and making fine lines. They were trying to hammer the ball in.
Yes,
like they didn't care about taking the time to find a cool opportunity. They just wanted to kick the ball as hard as they could and pray to God that maybe Luther would deflect it, which he did deflect it, and the guy kicked it over the net.
Yeah, oh my God, I totally forgot about that.
That was where my heart kind of like dropped out of my chest. I'm like, oh my God, dude. I think Fritz Walter came down from heaven and took not my house, boys.
Yeah, just what a game. What a game. Yeah. What extremely
not perfect, but it was a tough battle that the better team won again.
Yeah, but on the other hand, a few days later we played against Düsseldorf and we played extremely good.
Yeah.
At least in the second half.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And we've always been a second half team this year. I don't know what it is.
And
if we started the game in the second half, and instead of counting up to 90 minutes, we started at 90 minutes and counted down.
Yeah.
All the scoring would be in the first half.
Yeah, exactly. But one match which were going through my mind a lot of times, but I wouldn't put it on the rank, was the 1-1 against Hamburg.
Yeah.
Because Hamburg is one of the most expected promoter to get promoted. They screwed themselves last.
It was very hard for me to keep that game off my list because it was another draw.
Yeah.
But it was on the road against a superior opponent.
Yep.
And we took care of things.
We did.
Got a point, We
did.
Yep.
That was also that was going through my mind a lot of times, but well, as you said, it was a draw, and we had other games which we won in the end. So why is one question? Why is one very special and very fightful game not on your list against Sandhausen?
Because it was an absolute train wreck.
Oh my God, that was horrible.
Yeah. It was,
oh my God, it was no. Never. I would never want to think about that boring game again.
3.5 hours of my life that I will never get back, and I wish I had done something different that day. Maybe
stare at the wall,
cut the grass, maybe.
Yeah, with a toenail biter or something would be way more interesting. That was that was so horrible. Really.
But every team has that game.
Yeah, of course.
Maybe 2, maybe 3, because there was a lot of games.
Of course.
We were fortunate to have so many draws. We've only lost, I think, 2 games this year, and we put points in the table almost every week, which is the reason why we are where we are right now, 4th place.
Exactly.
In a couple of games, we could have been a couple up. Who knows?
Well, if we would have won, let's say, the 2 games, which were, you mentioned one of them, the game against Darmstadt, where we could have won, as well as the 4-4 against Magdeburg.
Yeah.
These are the 4 points which I'm very sad about, because I think we should have deserved these points. And look at the table. Where would we be now? There we go.
We'd be in 2nd or 3rd place right now.
There you go. So, but on the other hand, man, everything's fine. I'm so happy with our team. It feels so great. A co-worker of mine, he is a Waldhof Mannheim fan, and of course we talk shit to each other, but always with a wink, But every time I see him, he comes over and says, like, "Can't you start losing again? That doesn't make any fun anymore." We're losing every time. Waldhof Mannheim lost 6 games in a row away.
Yeah.
And they were so happy that they drawed 1-1 against Oldenburg. you know, and and he's really angry because he wants us to get relegated because he says we're not getting promoted.
Yeah.
But man,
buy him a beer. Say, hey, you know, I love you. Here's a beer. You know, drink your sorrows away. You know. Come over and watch a real club. Watch our guys.
Come over to Kaiserslautern and see what football really is.
Yeah. Speaking of, my beer is empty, so I am going to stop the video feed on my end, and I'm going to get a refill.
And I'm going to take a piss.
Okay.
So, guys, we're back again. First things first. Prost, Bruder.
Prost. Zum Wohl.
Zum Wohl. So, well, there is one big topic left.
Yeah.
Which is the World Championship in football, which is coming up this winter. Why the winter break is so extremely long, and it's in Qatar, and it's, I think, one of the most discussed World Championships I've ever witnessed in my whole life.
Yeah.
Because everything is going so extremely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the worst situation. If you're a fan of football, number one, you want the game to be played where people love the game.
Yes.
And I don't think people that live, I'm sure there are fans of the clubs in Qatar or however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
But just coming from an American perspective, and our team is finally respectable again. People are talking, hey, maybe the U.S. team can get out of the group stage because we have England in our group, I think, and it's very possible that we could be one of the two teams that get out of the group stage into the next round. And it's like, I so badly want to support not only the U.S. team but the German national team because they're my second favorite now. But to have these human rights issues and the blood money that FIFA spent to get the game there, it just, I have to stand by my word and say I am going to boycott it. I'm not going to watch it. I of course will be like, you know, hope I will look at the scores and say, oh, good job, guys, you won, but I hate not being able to watch my game because of what these corporate people did for this money.
Yeah.
I think it's despicable, and I think every person on that board should resign or be fired for this. It's just to have the game in a nation where it is illegal to be gay, where you have slave labor that are building these stadiums where thousands of people have died. I don't know how many is the confirmed number, but I know the conditions for these people that are working are, you wouldn't find that in a third world country.
No.
It's just, and if I'm a man of principle, I have to say, if I'm going to support the boycott, I can't watch it. And it's going to be really hard, but during these 11 weeks, I am going to watch old K-Town games. I'm going to watch your past live streams. I'm going to watch my favorite games from this season or highlight films. I might even go back a couple years and watch some third league games that are memorable for me.
I highly recommend.
Weekend, I will have a football match to watch.
I highly recommend. There are these are called Bet the Legends. It's on YouTube, and there you can watch real old school games, like the game against Barcelona, against Real Madrid, against Bayern Munich, where we won 7-4.
Yeah, they call that Das Spiel, right?
Yeah, that's game. That's
what it's called. Yeah, the game.
And
everybody was there too.
But
everybody that I talked to, I was there.
I wasn't born back then. I'm sorry. But you just said the human rights issue, and especially the laws there against homosexuals and stuff. But did you know that when a wife gets raped, she could be committed for a crime because she had sex out of a marriage.
Yeah.
But now, while the World Cup is there, this law is out of order. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that is a huge step, isn't it? My God, there was a banner saying in the curve, "Bought with money, paid with blood," and this is perfect because
you're seeing these messages all around.
Yeah.
The Bundesliga, the second league, the third league, boycott. So we can put the derbies aside. We're all football fans, and we all don't like this. I think it's probably going to be the worst World Cup in history for people watching it, people supporting it. I guess in 2026, and I didn't know that, but it will be here in America in 2026. It'll be South America, North America, and Canada will all host the World Cup, which I can't wait. Even though my city is not going to host a match, I'm going to try to go to a match close to me. Maybe make a weekend trip out of it and be there to support the U.S. club and maybe wear my German tricot and support the German team.
Yeah. Yeah.
When that's 4 years down the road, but
well, did you know that in Qatar they paid people to wear jerseys and make a fan march?
Yeah, I've shared those videos on my Facebook page, and you see all the people like hitting the drums with the German jerseys, and they're doing these like this knife dance, and like, when was the last time you had Wiener Schnitzel or bratwurst? I don't think so.
Have you ever eaten a schnitzel in your life?
Nope.
But I don't want to blame them. I blame their whole system because there is the Schweizer Rundfunk, which is the Swiss television station. They had like a very, very deep going article on their homepage, and of course a broadcast on TV and stuff, where they showed since when Qatar is wanting to buy the World Championship. And this is so unacceptable. I had so many discussions about why is the championship in Qatar worse than the one in Russia. Mm-hmm. But here's one big thing. I really think that you have to draw a line at some point, and they cross this line with this World Championship. Mm-hmm. Because at least, let's say, Russia or Africa or any other, let's say, other country had at least some connection to football. Because in Africa they play football, in Russia as well, in Korea, when it was in South Korea, they do it as well. But who ever heard of a good team from Qatar? No one. Yeah. There isn't even grass going on, man.
Yeah, you're playing in the sand.
Yeah. And that really makes me sad. And there is the line which shouldn't be crossed, and they did it. Just with money. And now all the important people say it was wrong that the championship is in Qatar. Well, good set right now. Mm-hmm. Right now. Why didn't you say it like 5 years ago when it comes to the
voting time?
The voting time. Thanks.
Yeah.
And no. Because of the human rights, because of the treating of wives. Well, a wife can't leave her house without the permission of her husband.
Yeah. And then they
we're playing there. What the hell?
Yeah. And in a court of law in a Muslim society, they say the testimony of a woman in a court is worth half of what a man's. It's like you might as well have it in Saudi Arabia, you know. where the women up until 2 years ago couldn't even drive a car.
Yeah, that is, bro. I don't want to judge any countries or any cultures or something.
Yeah.
But if you're living in a country like Germany, America, or even Europe or whatever, we have like cultural standards that men and wife are equal. Human rights are the same for everyone. Who cares if you're
Western civilization?
Yeah,
that's what it's called. Yeah.
And I think it's just symbol politics, as we like to call it, when Manuel Neuer is wearing his captain's
sleeve armband,
in the rainbow flag colors. Yeah. But you can't do this in Qatar, so they changed it. So even I, who is really supporting that everyone should live their life how they ever want, but this is a flying middle finger to them because it's just a screwed up symbol. It's like if you take the K-Town logo, oh there it is, but I'm not putting up my sleeve, but you know how it looks like, and you turn it around and swap it around and change it so you wouldn't even recognize it, and that is just simply wrong. And I really think and I really hope that no one is going to watch it, because all of my friends say they're not going to watch it, not a game, not a single one. And I'm very happy that France was starting it. I think they are not doing public viewing, a thing which were usually in Germany also a huge thing.
All the pubs would have it. You'd have big, like we had at the Fritz Walter Stadium.
Exactly,
for the,
like video walls and
video walls and everything. Yeah,
and I'm very happy that the bars in Germany, which are usually doing the live, they're showing the games live. They have like badges which they can put on their doors, which means like we're not going to show any games of the championship. Yeah. And I'm so happy that this is growing, because we have, as you said, the Western civilization, and I don't want to say that we're better or something. We're different. But well, come on, man.
I'll say it. We are better. I mean.
Yeah. Human rights for everyone, and not just for heterosexual men. So screw this shit. And I'm so happy that it's growing. And I don't wear it right now, but as you know, I have like a couple of T-shirts and stuff which says boycott or having like the picture of a stadium, and all the crowd is cheering, and then underground there are skulls and skeletons and stuff. Yeah. And I wear these to draw attention to it, that you shouldn't wear it. And I'm very happy that I was walking from the train station to the place where I live, and I was wearing a shirt, a hoodie with a logo on it which says Nein zur WM in Qatar, which means no to the WM in Qatar.
Yeah.
And a guy was walking toward me, and he read the sign, the print, and he asked me why. And we had a little conversation, and I was like telling him the stuff which we were talking about, and he was like, okay, this is absolutely understandable, so I'm not going to watch it either. And where can I buy one of these shirts to show that I'm not going to watch it? And I was like, hey, man, that's awesome.
I have a link right here in the description.
Yes, we have here.
And I have, by the way, I have a really nice YouTube channel that you should watch too.
Really, I gave him my business card, so he will find the link. Yeah, because he really wants one. Wanted one. And as far as I know, I get a bus notification when I get an email, and soon after, someone bought something in my shop. So perhaps it was him.
It could be.
It could be.
You never know. But it's really, it's so frustrating to want to support your national team, but to have this big giant disaster that takes more importance. Because, we all love our club. We love our national team. But if you and I are human beings, and we have to support humanity first. Before sports, I mean, sports plays a very big role in our lives. It distracts us from shit work, politics. We all get together with sports. You have two people that have different political views, but usually most of the time you can get together and say, hey, but we're FCK fans. But now we're all together to give the middle finger to Qatar, to FIFA, saying we don't approve of this and you're going to lose money.
Yeah.
Which they don't care. They have billions of euros anyway. But
of course,
we can make a statement.
We can make a statement, and especially because in Germany we have two stations, television stations, which are run by the state, and this is for everyone. Like everyone can watch it, and they bought the rights for the games, and when they are paying millions and millions of the rights to show the games, and no one is going to watch it. That is just amazing. Would be amazing. Yeah. And if a replay of the Simpsons episodes from, let's say, Treehouse of Horror gets more attention than a game of Germany, that would be just amazing. Oh, yeah. I would so love to see that. Yeah. And there were how do you call it when someone is doing a study and ask a huge amount of people to make a statistic?
We call that a poll. P-O-L-L. Yeah, poll.
Okay, poll. And they made one, and 67% said they're not going to watch it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's if you ask in Kaiserslautern what team are you going to support, 99% will say Kaiserslautern. Yeah. So it's very harsh to make that like public and a representative thing.
The numbers can be skewed a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't know one person who is saying I'm going to watch it. Not one single person, fortunately.
Here's an idea for you. A little light bulb just went on.
Yeah.
Maybe you can do a quick video on your channel of 10 or 11 games that you can watch on YouTube or the internet for each week during the off season to give K-Town fans something to watch to distract them. I think that would probably help me. I would watch it.
Yeah.
Because we're all going through withdrawal right now.
Yeah.
There's no games until January 28th. We have the World Championships that are happening that we can't watch. We won't watch. But we need an alternative. So maybe you can give us an idea or two.
I can try that, but my schedule is pretty tight right now. But I think I can make that happen, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It must be. It's not going to be like a movie-long thing, but a short video which I can. Let's just provide an alternative. And the funny thing is that my good friend Mark, he's doing the streams as well, and he has an alternative for the German games. And my brother and I are going to have a live stream on next week Sunday night, where we are going to play like mini games against each other live on stream, and the stream is invited, the chat is invited to provide ideas. Yeah.
I was really lucky before I came back to the U.S. to watch the UEFA Cup. That was this past year, and I went to. I was in Saarbrücken. It was my third trip down there, and it was the game that Germany was playing. I think Portugal, and we won. I think 3-1. And we were, me and a friend of mine from Hochspeyer, we went to Saarbrücken, and we were on the big square where all the bars are, and they had the viewing. And it was really neat to support the German team in the UEFA Cup. I didn't have any football related stuff on. I had my Cleveland ball cap, and
you mean the European Cup?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the UEFA Cup is because
UEFA Cup,
is team based.
Yeah, Europe Cup.
Yeah,
and we were watching it in Saarbrücken, and I don't know what you call it. We call it a bachelor party here, where the men before they get married, they get completely drunk in public, and they're walking around like blindfolded. Well, we ended up hanging out with this group of like 10 guys.
Okay.
And one of them saw my tattoos, like, he said, "You're American, but you're a Kaiserslautern fan." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I'm Saarbrücken fan." Well, it's okay, you know. But we actually formed a friendship. I actually still talk to him today.
Oh, great!
But we watched the match together, and he really liked that an American that was only there for 3 years became so involved with a football club in Germany to get it tattooed on his arm. He's like, I don't like K-Town, you know, they're the enemy, but, you know, mad respect that you would do that. And it was just neat to be able to watch Germany play as an American with a guy from Saarbrücken who on match day would be my worst enemy, but we're had arms around each other. We're doing shots and drinking beer, and you know they're celebrating his friend's marriage coming up. But I wish I could have that energy now for the World Cup. Yeah. It was a different tournament. It was still the national team, but I was very lucky to be able to watch. You know, Italy would eventually win. You know, they beat England in the finale, the championship there. But to be able to see Germany do pretty well in the tournament, but not make it all the way. But to be able to watch it in Germany with total strangers was a really neat experience. And Saarbrücken is actually a really nice city. I went there 2 or 3 times. I like the river, the Saar River there, and I got to see Sick of It All. If you're a fan of hardcore music,
you saw Sick of It All in Saarbrücken.
Yep, I have the.
Oh my God!
I think you can kind of see the poster in the background here. It's behind me to the left, right there.
Okay.
It was at the Garage. Is the name of the bar in Saarbrücken. It's a concert club called the Garage, and it was the first time that I had ever gotten to see Sick of It All in person.
Oh my God! Why haven't I noticed that? Because I really want to see Sick of It All as well.
Oh, it was awesome! Sick of It All. Cancer Bats was there. Comeback Kid was another band that played.
Okay.
That was on the 16th of November, 2019 in Saarbrücken, where I finally got to see one of my favorite bands play.
Oh,
so Saarbrücken to me it's a cool city. I like it.
It is. Oh my God, Sick of It All. They're awesome.
Although every time I think of Saarbrücken, I'm always thinking Beine breite Buchen.
Yeah, of course. This is always getting through my mind as well. So.
Oh yeah.
But I can't talk. This is so loud because you know Bella is coming from Saarland, so from the Saarland. Yeah. But I know she knows. I always make fun of her because of that. So
yeah.
I get my beating like every day.
What's the nickname that they call Saarland? It's a Saarbronx.
Saarbronx, yeah.
Where does this come from? I've always heard people call it Saarbronx. Is that because it's like New York City, like the Bronx?
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing with Barakla, which comes from the word baracke, and baracke was a term used for a long house with just made out of wood, and there were just people squeezed into it, like
tenement housing.
Yeah,
is what we would call it, like low income. And you squeeze them all in. Yeah.
Exactly. A lot of people less space.
Yeah.
And
We always, in Cleveland, the football rivalry in my city is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
And we always call Pittsburgh people trailer trash.
Trailer trash.
They're supposed to be, rednecky. They live in trailers in the rural communities.
And they talk like this, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But we have the same kind of trash talking here. It's just different language, of course. But
I really think that is a worldwide thing. Really.
Yeah.
Like, you have a city, and another city is... We have Altrip, and we have another, like, small village, which is called Waldsee, and they're very close to each other, and they always talking shit to each other. Like, I think this is... a human thing, I don't know. Like, this is my ground, my area. You're bad because I come from here.
You live close to, is it Neustadt? Or,
I'm living in Neustadt.
Neustadt, okay. Because I love Neustadt for the wine. Neustadt an der Weinstraße. That was where I took my parents when they were here. Well, not here, but when they visited me in K-Town.
I know.
I took them down to the Weinstraße, because both of my parents love wine. I'm like, I hope you like Riesling. So we took them. I took them to 4 Weinstubes, and then I took them to the Weingut. The different little wineries. And I'm like, this is like maybe you didn't even get to a fraction of a percent. I mean, there are so many wine places in Neustadt, and then you have all along the Weinstraße, all the way to Sausenheim, which is where my friend had his Brauerei there. Mm-hmm. Sausenheim, near to Grunstadt. Mm-hmm. All along that road was just thousands of places to get wine. And I of course had to go to Neustadt, because that was,
the place to be.
You get the Bad Dürkheim Wurstmarkt every year, which I would have loved to have been there this year. I saw it was the first time that they've had it since Corona. And I have 2 pins from 2018, 2019 that you put on your hat that's got the, Dürkheimer Wurstmarkt from, and it has a little Doppelglas that hangs down. Yeah. And all my friends that were posting pictures this year, I'm like, oh man, I wish I was there, because that was such a fun time, just drinking Weinstrollers and
get drunk.
Oh yeah.
But you just said that there are Weingüter everywhere. Yeah. My father is coming from a very small village, which is called Forst. You perhaps heard it from the Palslied.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Grünstadt, Eisenberg und Forst. This is the small village where my father came from, and he said, I think I'm wrong, but here it comes close. They had 1 bakery, but 18 Weingüter. So there you go. This is living in the Pulse.
Oh yeah, it just they loved it there. I can't remember the name of the one winery. They have a location in the Stiftsplatz, but it's a winery that's on the Weinstraße. I can't remember what it's called, but they have a location in the Stiftsplatz there in K-Town. But it's really good wine. I actually took them to... Now I'm going to have to look it up because it's driving me nuts.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. When you need to know something.
Holzweißbrot. Holzweißbrot. Uh-huh. The best wine in Neustadt. I don't know if you've ever had
Now I'm cheering with beer.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have to get up early.
Yeah. I got... It's only... You're in the future. It's 6 hours ahead there, so I'm talking to future Matza, and you're talking to in the past, Steven.
In the past.
Yep, a little time
They're
tunnel.
traveling through time here.
That's right.
Without a DeLorean.
Yep, exactly. Or the TARDIS, if you're a Doctor Who fan.
Yep.
So what are the next few weeks looking like for you? I think we need to do one more show before Christmas. Maybe we can do our Santa Christmas list for K-Town for 2023. Maybe come up with
I guess we
quick
can
video.
make that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to, because as I said, my schedule is really, 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 really tight till December.
Yeah.
It's really hardcore because I was getting off work today and I got home and I recorded all the 24 videos for the Advent calendar I'm doing this year again.
Oh, wow.
And then I sat down and I already cut a few of them. But tomorrow I have an appointment, a very important. And the day after, on Saturday, I'm going to Luxembourg. And the day after, I'm going to, we have a German, in Germany we have like, how do you call this when everyone gets his day off? For, let's say, the Independence Day.
Yeah.
No, how do you call it? Like that special day where you
we call a holiday.
Is it a holiday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or federal holiday.
Yeah, it's for where we make a memorial for all the people which were died in the last year, and we have that on the Betzenberg again. So I'm going there, and afterwards I'm going to see a football game in Kaiserslautern from the FFCK, the Frauenfußballclub Kaiserslautern. The wives are going to play.
Oh wow!
So I'm going there for my first female football match. Yeah. There you go. And the day after, I have to go to a 3-day conference, and then I'm going to Switzerland for an ice hockey game for the weekend.
Okay.
So I'm packed like hell. But But stress keeps you up to date and keeps you updated and stay strong. You know what I mean? And feeling alive.
Are you a big? I don't think we've ever really talked about ice hockey. Are you a big ice hockey fan? Because I went to one game in Mannheim, the Adler, and it was very strange sitting with Mannheim people.
Yeah.
Because I know that they were all Waldhof fans probably, and they were very, very passionate. It was like going to a SV Waldhof Mannheim game. They had the same colors, and I was like, I had to see an ice hockey game. And the arena there is really pretty. You could take the Deutsche Bahn straight to the arena, and it was a really nice atmosphere. Really nice atmosphere.
I've been there twice. Yeah, twice. I think. Yeah. And I also like the spirit and the mood and the block. I was standing with a couple of friends there, and they're like the ultras of the Adler Mannheim, and that was a lot of fun. But I'm visually handicapped, so I have a huge problem with football already. But ice hockey
hockey is impossible.
Absolutely, and. Every time I talk to someone,
I have vision, and I can't even keep track of it.
Exactly. That's the same thing everyone was talking about. Like, oh my god, I can't follow it either. And so I'm more a fan of the fans instead of the sports itself, because
you go for the atmosphere.
Because I have no clue what's going on really. But the funny thing is, I don't know any other sports where all of a sudden they threw their gloves away and started punching each other. Fight. Yeah, what kind of sports is this? And the referee is standing right next to them and say, "Okay, go ahead, feel free."
Yeah. You both get a penalty box for 2 minutes.
Yeah, there you go. That is just crazy. So
we have a hockey team here in Cleveland called the Monsters. They are they would be considered the we call it farm team or the minor league team of the Columbus Blue Jackets, which are the National Hockey League team here in Ohio. Our team used to be the farm team for the Colorado Avalanche, but they switched, and now we support the other major team in Ohio. So we would kind of be like the second team, like every German football club has a second team.
Yeah.
This would be the team that has the young talent that's trying to become
okay.
profi and then go up to the big club.
I see.
The same year that we won the basketball championship in 2016, back then they were called the Lake Erie Monsters. We won the Calder Cup, which is in the NHL you have the Stanley Cup where they have the big cup that everybody holds up and they skate around. We got the Calder Cup, which is the second tier championship.
Okay.
Cleveland that year, we had 2 championships in our city.
Whoa.
And we almost had a third.
Aw.
The Indians went to the World Series against the Chicago Cubs and lost in Game 7. But we almost had 3 championships in 1 year in our city, which would have been awesome, but
that would be awesome, yeah.
Yeah. But hockey is a great sport.
Yes, it is.
It's very hard to follow, even for me. When I watch a game on TV, I think it's Fox. They used to have they used to put like a really bright pink glow around the puck, so you could watch it go across the TV and know where that little puck was. So it was much
that
easier
is
to follow.
interesting.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before or even heard, but that would be very, very good for me because, well, I can tell the people, could you do me a favor and play slower so I can follow?
Yeah, slow down.
Slow down, God damn it.
Or fight more.
Slow down or fight more.
That's right.
Pick your poison. That would be extremely funny. No, this is my schedule coming up for the next few weeks, but then when it comes to December, I have more space, and we're definitely going to excuse me. We're definitely going to record another video because it makes so much fun every time when we're sitting here and talking about football and many other things. Oh yeah, I really like that, and I'm really enjoying the time.
I really wish I could be there again for the holidays. I love the Weihnachtsmarkt or Christkindlmarkt.
Yeah.
I love the Christmas markets. The best 2 that I've been to was Heidelberg. And,
that's a really beautiful one.
What was it? It was it's right on the Rhine River. It's not Bad. I have to look on my phone here real quick.
Yep.
Let's see. This would have been 2019. It's the village right on the Rhine River where they have the cable car that go up to it. It's got the old. I will find it here in a second. Rudesheim.
Rudesheim, yeah.
Rudesheim.
Yeah.
And they have this special. It's a coffee drink with
Rudesheimer coffee.
Cream, and you have the alcohol in it.
Yeah.
And you have the special little mug. Oh, I still have my cup upstairs.
Really? That's cool.
That was such a really cool little town. It was like going back into the medieval times. You had the cobblestone streets. You had the signs that were made of wood that were hanging off the buildings, and there was little things for sale. And it was actually my first German Christmas market. Was in Rudesheim.
That's beautiful.
And that following year, we did a Rhine River cruise on the boats that go up and down the river.
Yeah.
And we stopped at Rudesheim, and we took the funicular, or the cable cars that go up the hill. And at the top of Rudesheim, there's this big monument up there that you can look down over the city.
Yeah.
And you take these little cars up on these steel rails that go up to the top there. But yeah, Rudesheim and Heidelberg Heidelberg is beautiful.
Heidelberg is beautiful.
The castle there was gorgeous, and the Christmas market was just amazing.
Yeah, I also I like the the flair of a Christmas market, the spirit.
Oh yeah.
I really enjoy the cold weather. I'm a huge fan of winter because I have problems with bright lights, and so when it's dark, it's way more confident for me, comfortable for me, and I really enjoy being on Christmas markets, and the winter time is just beautiful. And I hope, because now that I live here in Neustadt, I'm a little more up high and closer to the Pfälzerwald. That I'm going to have, or we are going to have, a white Christmas, because I remember just 2 or 3 times in my life where I had a white Christmas at the place where I lived. So I keep my fingers crossed.
Oh yeah, and if you get cold, all you have to do is wear gloves and get a glass of Glühwein.
Yeah, Glühwein. With Asbach or Kirschwasser, which is a booze out of cherries. Cherry water. Awesome.
I had glüh beer a few times.
Glüh beer,
It was different, but I like Glühwein. I actually have a bottle of Glühwein from Aldi from last year, and I will prepare that in my new kitchen, which is almost done. 3 more weeks, and my kitchen will be complete, and I will be able to make my Glühwein on my stove. I'll heat it up, and I have my Glühwein glass from all of my years in Germany, and I will drink to Christmas.
Or 3 Christmas, or 5 Christmas.
However many it takes.
Every year, I have no idea when it is, but because it's just an incident which happens, that my father and I are starting to drink Glühwein, and then we get completely wasted, and we watch like old TV shows, and we're just sitting there enjoying our time, and that's always very, very nice.
That's what the holidays is all about, man.
Yeah,
it's
getting drunk and having fun.
it's about family and good memories and laughing and that spirit of togetherness.
And being with people you love.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, brother. I think that were good words for the ending of today.
Yep. 2022. What a good year it was.
What an awesome year.
A K-Town fan. I still look back and remember every moment, especially the promotion.
The promotion.
And flying over there and being able to be with my friends and family again, and just it's a memory that will never leave my head. Period.
Oh yeah.
Here's to 2023. Let's fight, man. Let's get up.
Not too early. We're going to see each other again.
Yes.
We are going to record one in December, of course. Yeah. We will find a spot and we find a date, and then we're going to record one more for the year. But till then, take care, stay healthy, and Prost, my brother.
Prost. Tschüss.